There's this one Kirby joke that grinds my gears a lot more than it probably should. And that's the whole Kirby kills God for cake joke that I see fairly often. I mean, on the surface, the joke is simple, Kirby lore pretty deep and all that. But I think this joke kind of misses a lot of what makes the Kirby series special. It sort of just boils it down to just the fact that it has dark lore at all. Apologies, this will be the most ranty video ever, so bear with me. Obviously, Kirby lore can get pretty weird. I mean, the two 3DS games are notably tragedies, with one featuring the death of a unrequited love, and the other featuring the death of a father whose daughter doesn't seem to honestly get that much, honestly. Star Wars also has some relatively intense themes, but these themes never feel particularly overwhelming in this series because of who Kirby is. Kirby is just this bundle of happiness and joy, and always has been since the start of the series. The games never really get too dour with all the lore. There's usually a happy ending, or at least a general carefree attitude when it comes to Kirby stories. The 3DS games are tragedies, but they don't dwell on the tragedy that much. I mean, Robobot ends with Kirby transforming into the Halberd in the most epic way they possibly could do it. And Triple Deluxe ends with the biggest suck of all time. So clearly they don't want the players to relish too much in the depressing feelings. Even in Star Allies, where I'd argue the series is at its most depressing. Especially since Star Allies has a happy ending for pretty much every party involved. Here is another dimension showing us Highness being redeemed, and the three Mage Sisters going on to live a happy life with him, seemingly. And Void is implied to be reincarnated into a much happier form thanks to Kirby. In general, the depressing lore is way in the background, which is probably why the joke is here, since it's not the sort of thing that you'll notice on a first glance of the series. Not even in a Sonic way, where it's just not evident if you haven't played the series. Kirby lore is sort of hidden. Though to me, a lot of what's interesting in Kirby lore isn't just about how dark it is or whatever. More so about the theories and the unanswered questions, I think a lot about the ancients of science and the people of the Forgotten Land, the New World. I wonder how they first found Elphalus in the first place, or I guess an Elphalus. Or how they treated it to go to other dimensions. I wonder what the ancients of sciences did to make Highness so mad in the past. And seemingly splinter the two ancient tribes. I wonder why the ancients build all of these wondrous machines that always seem to turn out evil. And most importantly, where in the world does Adeline come from? And when I'm not thinking about questions like that, I'm usually thinking about the characters Didi's growth throughout the series, from a very self-obsessed, food-obsessed king to someone who's genuinely willing to put himself on the line to protect those gloves. We all know the DDD aura farming moment, don't we? The Kirby series is kind of like a playground to mess around with your own stories and theories, which gives it a little more texture than, say, a Mario game, where most of the characters are just one-note stereotypes. In general, I find it really annoying when people claim that something made for families or children is super dark or super edgy because of one or two things. I feel like I see this a lot in movie spaces where people point out supposed adult themes and use that to say that a movie is totally not for kids, when kids can enjoy a movie with those sorts of things too. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is not any less of a family movie just because it tackles the themes of mortality. Some kids think about their mortality too, So giving them the message of living your life to the fullest early on is very good, I think. In the same way, the messages of forgiveness in Kirby Star Allies can also be just as good. Yes, the power of friendship is simple and all, but it's simple and all that. And because it's a game, you can feel how good it is to work together since you're actually working with another player. In the same vein, other stories like Magalore flying too close to the sun when getting power and losing himself in the process, or even Leon doing the same thing in Forgotten Land. This feels like a big trend in the Kirby series, actually. Some character looks for otherworldly power and ends up corrupt in the process. Also, other environmental details, like showing the beauty even in a place that's abandoned, like the New World, and showing how you can make a name for yourself even in a world that's been forgotten. I feel like people are generally way too quick to write off messages of things that are not for kids, when a lot of the messages in family movies are very potent on kids. I know I'm reading way too much into this from a simple meme people share about the Kirby series, but I think even these simple jokes say a little bit of something about society. I told you this would be rambly and ranty. Glad you're still here though. In general, if you're wondering where the actual Kirby kills gold for cake meme comes from, frankly, it's a very poor retelling of Squeak Squad's story. And Squeak Squad's story is already one of the weakest stories in the Kirby series. Basically, the actual plot of Squeak Squad is that Kirby is enjoying a nice strawberry shortcake before it gets nicked right before his eyes, and of course, being the kind, compassionate, and caring person that he is, he immediately goes and beats up King Dedede assuming he stole the cake, because this was the era of the anime, and the anime was when King Dedede was the bad guy. Cool, I guess, and then the Squeak Squad appeared and Kirby falls down a big hole, yippee. And I feel like most people aren't calling Dedede a god. I mean, he is certainly dreamy, but not in that kind of way. Later on in the story, it is revealed that the chest has some weird dark force in it that takes over Daroche, and that Meta Knight tried to stop it, but Daroche opened the chest anyway, and then became Dark Daroche, and then got defeated, and then we get Dark Nebula, in which, when people are saying that Kirby kills gods for cake, the god they're talking about is Dark Nebula, the lamest boss fight in Kirby history. Daroche is like, what, down, up, or just down attack? This thing. This is your god. That's amazing. So I will never get tired of bashing on Dark Nebula. Also, before you ask, I don't think Dark Nebula is even a member of the Dark Matter clan, or Dark Matter species. I think he's related to Dark Matter, but isn't a form of Dark Matter. It's strange. Maybe Dark Nebula is a part of Dark Matter, but I don't feel like talking about that sort of thing right now. This isn't a Kirby theory video. This is a video about laughers of Kirby opinions. I think another thing is that the joke brings out a lot of misconceptions, or at the very least weak theories about the series, especially since a lot of people just parrot them without understanding what they might be about. Like, it seems so many people talking about how Kirby has infinite power and is a god slayer, but is he really? I think the closest Kirby has gotten to slaying a god was Void Termina. So I'm not sure if Void Termina is an actual god or just, like, a being of immense negative energy that Highness worshipped as a god because he's Highness. There is also the connection of Void to Kirby, though isn't a confirmed connection, mind you. It's just something that's very strong, both in thematics and also the actual lore and whatnot, which I'm not going to get into right now. And there's also the gooey stuff or whatever. I usually interpret the infinite power thing in Robot to mean that Kirby has, like, infinite potential thanks to his copy abilities. Since Kirby is able to copy the ability of any foe he meets, he's kind of able to do everything. I'll be honest, it's kind of the only misconception I can think about, and it isn't even a misconception, just people taking, I guess, taking things at face value, sort of. It's the thing that's, like, different as to what I like in Kirby. Like, I don't like Kirby because he's, like, all-powerful and can slay gods. I like him because he's a source of joy and wholesomeness and is friendly to everyone he meets. Always looking out to help people and always being cheerful as he does it. No matter where he's at or what he's doing, he always seems to have a smile on his face. I guess I just wish people more, like, forward about their enjoyment of cute, wholesome things. I think this is a problem in society in general where, like, dark, depressing, and edgy stuff is prioritized over happiness and that. Like, being cute and friendly is not a weakness. If anything, it's a big strength. I should wrap this video up before I get too philosophical. Basically, I don't know, I think the Kirby Cubs God joke is just kind of lame, and I wish people would not mention it as much. I mean, I don't have a big issue with it, it's just sort of a minor pet peeve. Like, if you're the sort of person that likes to joke about this sort of thing, don't feel too bad about it. Like, the last thing I'd want to do is ruin someone's fun, okay? Like, if you want to joke about Zan Partisan being implied to be suicidal in one of her text dumps, go ahead, I'm not going to stop you. I guess I just want to share the more cute and wholesome side of Kirby, personally. As well as its depth in its gameplay rather than just its lore. So, goodbye, I guess. Bye-bye! I heard someone talk in the comment section on the Kirby music The Waste That Count Time about how they didn't expect a Kirby song to have that sort of slightly foreboding energy. And someone in the comments mentions Eternally Stirring Fulawa song, and the original comment was like, wow, a song intentionally made to be disturbing and creepy is disturbing and creepy, no way. I think about that on the occasion. Like, the coolness of Kirby isn't Eternally Stirring Fulawa song because that's made to be creepy. But The Waste That Count Time is really grungy in a way that you wouldn't expect.